What's up, everyone? Okay, it's time for a video update. I said to 1 or 2 weeks, right? Way past that. But I have made some progress. So let's get into it. So we'll go into the wheel items. And I had this one up before, but it was very basic. Excuse me. If you watched the last video, it was just made up of a couple of rectangles. I've added a lot more UI elements now to the wheel item, as you can see here. And I've added frame. So I've added pretty much actually all the parent controls. And as you can see here, I've nested. So parent-child or nested elements works just fine within the wheel item. And I've added a new property to the image canvas for the wheel item because I realized I don't have any kind of conditioning set up to say whether or not you want the opacity control depending on a certain condition. And the most common one for wheels or wheel items is if it's not the selected item, then lower the opacity. For all the other wheel items, so the one that's selected is more prominent, right? So that's what I've done here. I've added this alternate alternate opacity value when the items are not selected, and I'll demonstrate all of that in a second. But as you can see, nested works just fine. The properties work just fine, as you can see, skew, angle, and all the gradient logic was in the last build that I demonstrated on the video. But so yeah, let's hop back out of here real quick and go back to this view. And as you can see, they're all pretty much prominent here. Actually, let's pick a different. I'm not ready to show you that yet. Let's just change the wheel item anyway. So I'm going to change the opacity value for the overall canvas, but you can actually do this for any parent element. So if you don't want the entire canvas, so for example, I have an outer frame, this metallic looking frame. Maybe you just want the content within it to have this alternate opacity. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so the frame, the border outside will be untouched. It's only the content that will change its opacity if the item is not selected. All right, so there you go. All right, so another thing that I can do here is I go back into wheels and copy, paste, edit. I'm going to change that so it's a perfect square. And then I'm going to change the border radius on all of these things. What was it? 600 by 600, I just said. So this would be 300, 300, 300, 300, whoops, 300, and then the inner border, 300, 300, 300, 300. Okay. And then we'll go back to the view. Want to edit. And then pick the wheel. Go down to wheel item. It would help. Go down to wheel item. Select the second template. And then it's really just a case of changing the spacing here. Okay. Trying to remember, is it less than negative? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I can never remember of the exact values here, but it's something like that. And I've actually moved the selected item all the way over here, but you get the general idea. Obviously I don't want to mess up this theme in progress, but yeah, I mean, it's dead easy to clone an existing item, mess around with it, and then reapply it to a new view or an existing view, and then obviously, like I was doing here, just alter the spacing to get it working correctly. Whoops. Dyslexic. You know, so now you've got perfect spacing. All right, I'm gonna discard this. So that's wheel item progress at the moment. Yes, obviously I don't have images in just yet. I was on a roll adding multiple UI elements and making sure that nesting works, amongst other things. And then I took a bit of a break, and then I got sidetracked on something else, which you briefly saw. So I'll go into it now, and I explain why I've done it. So there was a combo box or a drop down like this. Okay. There was a drop down control that was here that would allow you to select a theme. And the problem was the way that I was populating that drop-down list. It had the operating system target platform, so that would be Windows or Android, and then the application Launchbox or BigBox, and those icons were loaded into the drop-down list. And because of that and the styling that I had applied, which, you know, kind of mimics Windows 11. Sometimes the list would load and then it would automatically just pick one of the items on the list and close the drop down, and now you're in this randomly selected theme that you didn't click on from the drop down. So I didn't like that glitch, obviously, so I've replaced it with a button. And when you click, you see all your themes now with a thumbnail of one. At the moment, I'm using one of the heaviest views within the theme, and it basically renders what that theme and what that heavy view looks like. It will render it and then store the thumbnail in the theme folder. Now, the other thing too that I have is as you click on a theme, you're getting information on the right-hand side here. So you can see when it was created, when it was last modified, what its aspect ratio is, how many views does it have any platform-specific views, does it contain any custom images, do you have any wheel item templates? Obviously, you know, you guys wouldn't at the moment. Does it have plugins? Do you use any kind of media overrides? Is there any user source? And there's some other properties that I'm going to add, but then you can edit, you can rename from here, you can duplicate and delete, just like you could from, or how you could from the main menu, but now you're doing it from here. This is all about themes at this point. Okay, so I can just, you know, I can back out and so from the hamburger menu, those options are no longer present. So new theme, edit, blah, blah, blah. Those are all gone. You access it through the theme manager now. Okay. And if you're wondering, well, what if I hide the sidebar? I can't click on that button. Fear not. Okay. So if you hide the sidebar, you can, a new menu option is available, theme manager. So you can get into theme manager even when you've hidden the sidebar. All right. And you can still resize the window, you know, whatnot. And the performance of my machine right now is horrible. When I'm streaming, I've got everything connected to this, but this poor thing has been on all weekend. So it's thermal throttling right now. It's poor thing. It's very sick. But yeah, so if I come out of theme manager, oh, actually no, if I go, let me just put sidebar back on. I'm sorry. Let me go back into theme manager. I want to pick a different theme. So plain and simple. And I'll go to one of these views. I don't know what wheel items I've got, so just bear with me. Okay, I just got the one. All right, let's do this relatively quickly. Canvas 600. We'll do exactly what I did earlier. 300, 300, 300, 300. In a border. Come on. 300, 300, 300, 300. All right. And save. Go back to views. Go back to the third view. We're going to edit the wheel. Okay, and we'll just change the spacing. Oh, I still have it set to negative. Okay. All right, I'll make it 0.3. I'll get it somewhat even. It's around there somewhere. Okay, I could play with that all day long. It's close enough. All right, so when I hit save, so this view has now been modified to use this new wheel item template. If I go into Theme Manager, plain and simple community, the thumbnail has been removed and it's actually regenerating a new one. And it just so happened that that view that I edited was deemed the heaviest view for the theme. Now I may change the criteria that determines or dictates the thumbnail that gets constructed and presented. I may just simply have it as the last view modified. The last view or last base view modified for that theme, and it will just simply refresh. The other things that I'm looking at adding to the top here is select by platform, because as you can see, I've got the Windows logo and big box. The idea being is I need to support both Windows and Android, and at some point I would like to support Launchbox theme creation as well using this application. So I need filters up here where I can say filter by Windows or Android or both, or Launchbox or big box or both, and then, you know, any themes modified in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, that kind of thing. So a slew of filters up top, and those filters are stored, they're remembered going forward. So yeah, that's what these thumbnails are for. It's just a good visual representation of what the theme looks like. Now, it's not slow to render. It can actually render these thumbnails very, very quickly, just as fast as if you're familiar with the custom image renderer within this application. It renders just as fast, but I've put a delay in there in order to capture videos, so that, you know, a lot of these themes have the initial transition of the video kind of fading in, and then some of the videos have got like a black screen, and then it's got the manufacturer or the publisher or whatever, and then it finally goes into the video for the platform or for the selected game. So I've deliberately put a delay in there before actually taking a snapshot. So if you're wondering why it's taken so long to kind of generate these thumbnails, it's because it's deliberate. Every time it's looking at a theme, it's waiting for the opportunity to grab what it thinks would make a decent looking thumbnail, and that's including the video of it, like here, for example. Okay, so that's the reason behind it. And you can hop in and out of this window, out of the theme manager, as much as you want while it's building the thumbnails. When you exit, it will put the thumbnail generation on pause, and then when you come back into the theme manager, it'll just carry on from where it left off. Obviously, when it's built all the thumbnails for all the themes that you have, that's it. It won't be doing any more work until the next theme you edit and you exit with a save. Then it will update that thumbnail. So that's how it's going to work going forward. But I just want to provide more pertinent information for the theme, and then filters might be very useful. I don't know what your own personal theme collection is like. My development side of things, I have far more themes listed than I have here when I do videos. But anyway, I think it's a nice visual representation of the collection of themes that you have. Now, what else was there? Okay, so that is basically the community theme creator visual side of things. All right. If I just come out of here, and what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to publish this theme. Okay. And I'll go to my themes folder. All right. And as you can see, these are the ones that were just constructed. We can pick any one of them, but we can go into the one that I just modified. It really doesn't matter at this point. As I scroll down to the converter section, I've actually removed 6 and replaced with 1. This one here, text companion, that's new, and like I said, I've removed 6, so that's pretty good. Now, what I'm doing, I'm just scrolling down through the code. If you have a look at any of your published XAML via the theme creator right now, you'll see a lot of, white space, a lot of blank lines here and there. Not anymore. Not with this. That's all gone. So no more white space. Yep. Not a single blank line. Unless it was intentional, just to kind of break things up. But when you get into generating code itself and elements and all this kind of stuff, you're not going to find a single blank line. All right, so that was another change, which would be noticeable if you were to look at the generated code. Now, there's been a whole slew of other changes and fixes I've made behind the scenes. And I'm not going to go into those. I've just put it on the change log. So when I'm ready to finally put this build out, then obviously you can see all the fixes and changes that I've made outside of what I'm showing you. But yeah, I just want to give you guys an update and let you know I'm still actively coding. And still actively coming up with some, different things that may help. And like I said, obviously there's an awful lot of changes that I've made under the covers that needed to be done anyway, either because they were bugs or it was just my OCD and looking at the generated code and seeing all these kind of random blank lines out there. It was just making me go a bit doolally. So anyway, that's an update. I plan to obviously do considerably more over the coming weeks. So when I have certain things kind of finalized, I'll certainly jump back on a video. But until then, take care of yourselves, and yeah, hopefully I'll have some major milestones completed in the next few weeks or so. Okay? All right, take care, everyone.